Okay, so we are doing an update, and this is actually a Monday afternoon, and this has been running for a few days now. You can see that my indoor temperature is about 74 degrees, and the humidity level is down to 56%. This is reading 60% because I've had the dehumidifier on and off all morning, simply because I've been doing videos right over the top of this and I didn't want to have the hum in my videos. Hey guys, Jeremy here, and this is the Trazico TZ04 dehumidifier, which was sent to me at no charge for this review. This is a compact little dehumidifier that's going to work up to 2,000 square foot and up to 30 pints per day. Now, we're out here in my studio, and the reason we're in my studio is because my humidity out here is running just a little bit high. If you'll notice, temperature is 71 degrees, which is super pleasant, but my humidity is still staying at 63%. Typically, you're gonna want your humidity level to be somewhere between 40 and 50%. I think 63, actually it's showing 66 right now, is pretty high for a space like this, and I don't want any of my stuff to rust, and I don't want any of my stuff to be damaged. So having the Trazico dehumidifier out here, I'm hoping is going to be a great asset. Now, I just pulled this out of the box, so I've not plugged it in yet, but here's some things that we do know. It's got some really nice casters on here that's going to roll real easy on just about any surface. It is, for its size, it does have some weight to it, but with the rollers, you're going to be able to move it from room to room. Next thing I want to pay attention to here is going to be our filter. So after this runs for a period of time, you're going to want to make sure that you're maintaining cleanliness with your filter. And with that filter, you can use an air compressor and blow it out, or you can use hot soapy water. Just make sure that when you just make sure that before you put it back in, it's completely dry, because if you're going to be sucking in particles that are in the air, if you're sucking it into a wet filter, you're going to get mud. Then this is going to overwork and it's going to lower its lifespan. So you just want to make sure that that filter is always clean, and you always want to make sure that it's dry as well. There are a couple of handles up here if you do want to carry it from room to room. I do want to give you the size here. So this thing is standing 16 inches tall, and it is 10 inches wide, and then it is 6 inches deep. So it's just a little compact unit, and I think it's pretty impressive. Next thing we want to look at here is pull this tape so we can see what else we got. Okay, so once we get that tape off, what it's doing is holding your it's holding your tank in place. So we pull this out, and we got a lot of stuff in here to check out. Okay, so this is going to be our reservoir, our tank, our holding tank that's going to drip through here as moisture is drawn out of the air. We got a nice long plug here, and then we've also got a drain hose. Now that drain hose is going to go right on here, and it's going to allow you to have a constantly running dehumidifier. Now, I don't have a floor drain, so I'm not going to be using this drain, but you would just insert it right here, just like that, and then you're going to run this to a floor drain. Once it reaches your 30 pints, you got a float right here, and that float is going to automatically shut off your dehumidifier so that you don't overflow your reservoir, which is a really nice feature to have. This is just going to slip right back in. And now, next thing we're going to do is power this on, and we're going to show you the settings up here and how to set this correctly for your needs. So we have our power button, and you can see an LED light right above the power, and we're going to go ahead and power that on. And then all of our other LED lights come on. We've got our mode, we've got the current humidity level, and then we've also got our fan speed. Now I want you to listen to the fan. Now that's pretty quiet. I want you to notice also, here's my thermostat in the room showing 61%, and the Trazico is showing 62%. So what that means is this is pretty accurate, sitting at 61 now. So we're right on target. The next thing is our mode. So we have a dehumidify, and that's where we're set right now, is on dehumidify. If we press our mode button, we can go to dry, which is going to be a closed dry mode. And then you got a continuous mode. If you was to hook up your drain hose to a floor drain, then you can run that continuous. Because we just want to dehumidify and empty our reservoir every 24 hours, we're going to set it there. And then we're also going to set our humidity at 45%. Now, you can set that humidity in 5% increments all the way up to 80%. Now, we want to have our room at 45%, so we're just going to set that and forget it. We've also got a timer, and if we press our timer, we can set that for 1 hour all the way up to 24 hours. And what that means is it'll run for that period of time and then shut off, and it won't turn back on until you power it on. You got your fan speed. As we're listening here, very, very quiet. It's not obnoxious and it's not disruptive at all. And it's set on high. You want to change that to low? Feel free to do so. And then you've also got a child lock here, so nobody can accidentally change your settings. You're going to long press that until your light comes on, and then you're going to be locked, and you're not going to be able to change any of the settings here. Because we're all adults, we're going to be safe, we're going to be good to unlock that and then just let it do its thing. So what we're going to do with this, let this run for 24 hours. Right now, we've got a time of 11:15 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Have dumped this a couple of times, and I want to show you where we're at right now. I can dump this about every... So that was just from this morning that we've accumulated. I have dumped this 3 times. Now, when you pull this out, it automatically shuts off. When you push it back in, it starts right back up. And you can see it jumped up to 61% just from my body temperature being nearby. So we're going to change that back to a high speed, and we're going to let this continue to run on dehumidify. Now, I am kind of surprised that I'm still sitting at 61%. It was down to 56% like my other monitor here, and so I really expected this to be a little bit lower on the humidity side. Current outside temperature is 82 degrees. Indoor temperature is 74 degrees. We are out in a studio, so I'm not connected to the house, and I'm just running a little window air conditioner on the other side of the room. So again, I really expected this to be a little bit lower, but it's doing the job. What would be ideal is to have this running continuous rather than having to dump the tray back here, because I don't always get that dumped in time, and sometimes it fills up overnight, and so it just is not running. So the continuous mode is going to be the best bet if you have a floor drain that you can drain that into. So if you're looking for a nice little dehumidifier, this one here from Trazico is definitely a smart choice.